So we're having technical difficulties. And the knee-jerk reaction to go, oh my goodness gracious, what a catastrophe. Oh my goodness gracious, this isn't what we had planned. Becomes that opportunity to practice here what we practice all the time, which is the pause. And it's the pause from turning from catastrophe and separation into remembering God and Spirit. And that shift and that turn, the reason we take a breath, the reason we actually do nothing in that moment is because our doing has been conditioned by reaction. We're interrupting so that we align and are guided. And the gift of this moment, is I got to stand up here for a few moments. And what did I observe? I observed a community connecting with one another. I could hear the chatter of people talking. I could see some people just sitting and holding presence. And it was beautiful. Did we start on time? No. I guess that wasn't the plan for today. How easily can we let it go and accept each moment as a stepping stone, not as a tombstone? This is the season that we are in. This is what we bring to our conscious awareness as we walk through Lent. As we purify the conditioned mind, and yes, purification is required, but it's not being demanded upon you by a God outside of you. It's being chosen by you deliberately because you said you wanted to awaken. So guess what life does? It gives you all the opportunities to do what? To awaken, to pause, to breathe, to shift. Normally I'd react. Normally I'd be like, what's going on here? Instead we breathe. We bless the people working on it. We look at our attachment. Why do we need a PowerPoint? Do we? I see people going, no. And then there's this little voice inside me that says, I need a PowerPoint. How else am I going to keep on track? Or am I willing to free flow? Every moment is an opportunity. Every moment. An opportunity to awaken. So I invite you to practice this with me. We pause together. And with our breath and breathing, we align with Spirit, holy and divine. And we invite and invoke the mind of God, the Christ within, to become activated. And we pause and ask, what is this moment teaching me? What is this moment teaching me? And we listen for a moment. In our listening, we might hear a voice arguing against what is. We let that voice drop into the heart space. We don't hate it. We just start to love it and let it go. What is this moment teaching me now? Oh my goodness gracious. What a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. It's really important for us to pause and look around and to acknowledge what a wonderful world it truly is. To unplug from the world of conditioned thoughts, the world that we call news, the world that's at war, the world of poverty. Not that we're not going to ever look at it again, but your self-care, our self-care is imperative right now. And in that pausing and beholding, we're becoming the beholders of really what truly is. And the only thing that is real and true are those things that are reflecting love and compassion and peace. The rest of it, some call an illusion, but you might be saying, well, it sure doesn't feel like an illusion. No, it doesn't. When you're in that mindset, it's what's operating. And what is required is our teaching, which tells us whatsoever is good, whatsoever is beautiful, whatsoever is kind, whatsoever is giving and peaceful, focus there. Focus your attention there, because our mind is creative and creator of our experience. And if we want to see a different world, it will be contingent upon us cultivating with discipline and vigilance the unplug from that and the plug into the heart and to spirit and to the divine mind of God. That song was written in 1967. If you were to do a search of what was happening in 1967, I have a very short list here comes from a very long list. We were in the Vietnam War. It was escalating conflict with widespread protests. The civil rights movement, which was an ongoing struggle for racial justice, was happening. And this was just a few months before Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. were assassinated. The Cold War anxiety and nuclear threat was at an all-time high, and cultural upheaval, countercultural movements, generational shifts, social unrest was happening. This was what I was born into. This is what I was born into, and the media was saturated with violence. We want to believe that the time that we live in is unique. It really isn't. It really isn't. This song and the purpose of it, written by Bob Thiel and David Weiss, and it was recorded that same year by Louis Armstrong. And the purpose of it was that they wanted to affirm something beautiful in the world. And that's what we must do. We must do that, because we will never solve all of those problems at that level. We will only react from the same conditioned thought processes, which is why we pause and we turn. Not because we'll ultimately ignore, but we're going to go above the battlefield to a new level of consciousness where real solutions abide. And this is how the world shifts and changes, and it begins with each one of us. We love in our communities to talk about Jesus, but if we were to look at the time he was born into, it was occupied by a Roman Empire that was extremely violent, that there were Roman soldiers throughout, public executions, terror tactics, armed patrols, checkpoints, and there were uprisings and rebellions. And the reason his teaching was so revolutionary, because in the midst of that, he talked about love. He anchored love and compassion for those who were outcasts, any type of sin, any type of sickness. Anybody on the outskirts was canceled in that society. And that's where he hung out. And that's where he extended his hand. And that's where the ministry occurred. But what did he do first? We don't see his ministry right away, right off the bat, do we? We don't see it until about age 30, into the maturity in his ministry. And the maturity came, if you read The Way of Mastery, The Way of the Heart, the very beginning of lesson 3, he talks about being a kid in this culture. And he talks about, going to the temple and listening to the elders and what they were teaching and preaching. And he'd kind of doze off a little bit or kind of daydream a little bit. Anybody ever do that when somebody's talking? Right? That's okay. That's okay, because something's happening. Something's happening. And he would have visions, he said, of a shimmering light. And that as he kept allowing those visions to come, he made a decision to dedicate his life to seeing that shimmering light in the midst of all that was going on. And to be the one to see beyond appearances and to anchor love in the midst of that which was unloving. To anchor ideas of peace and compassion when everything unlike it was happening. It's called revolutionary because it went against the grain of what was happening in the world. And if we say Jesus is our teacher and our way shower, then we walk in those footsteps. During this season, and part of the lesson I'm dropping in during this season is that metaphysically this is our story. We've begun with what Yeshua was teaching. We're the creators of our experience. God isn't ordaining any of this. We're choosing it. And it's been chosen lifetime after lifetime, culture over culture. And there comes a time and a place where we do awaken. And I say it's here and now. This community, every Sunday, and when I was attracted to this community, I was attracted to your vision. You guys created this vision well before I got here. And the vision is, do you guys know it? Yes. I'm blanking for a moment. Let me hear it. There it is. A spiritually awakened world living in peace and love and joy. Now, we can't stand up every Sunday and rattle that off without it having an impact on us. And what the reading said the moment that you claim this, the moment you say, God, awaken me, I want to awaken, that you and I live in a benevolent universe of our own making, and that it's reflecting to us benevolently ourselves, our consciousness, our prevailing thoughts, just like the prevailing winds. And then we all join together in that if we're asleep. And while we're asleep, something happens. Political takeovers, wars. Because the ego mind, left to its own devices, the ego mind being the mind of fear, the mind that says we're separate, the mind that wants to make you another, the mind that wants to cancel you for the mistakes you may have made in your life. The ego mind is the one that wants to build prisons and put everybody in there forever. That's the ego. That's the machination of the ego. We really don't need to study beyond that. That's it. And so the minute that we say, I want to awaken, our only job is to bring our awareness to what we're seeing. And then to ask, what is this moment teaching me? From the moment we've been saying this is our vision, this is our mission, the moment we did that, we set into motion that the universe is conspiring with us, for us, not against us. So when the audio-visual wasn't working, it was a catastrophe. What are we going to do? Or maybe it's an opportunity to pause and to notice what a beautiful world it is in this sanctuary. What a beautiful world it is. I can see and hear people connecting. I can hear the murmurs. I can hear, oh, it's so good to see you. How's your sister? How's this? I can hear this. It bubbles up. It rises above any battlefield that's going on out there, and it rises up, and it has a power unto itself. And we must pause. I invite us to pause and to look at that. Had that not happened, that was the perfect ashram for our awakening. It was a perfect moment. And, okay, just speaking from my point of view, and maybe from our sound team, right? And Mary up there, I mean, didn't feel like the perfect ashram. It kind of felt a little chaotic. It was like, okay, what do I do? Do we tap dance a little bit? I can tap dance a little bit, sure, but only, well, I can for a while. And so my point being, though, is that we're going to begin to walk in our lives in this way, rather than constricting when it seems like something terrible is happening. To the pause, what is this moment teaching me? What is this moment teaching me? And what I want us to begin to embrace and to begin to release is that the world does not need to grow through pain anymore. Pain pushes, sure, it can be a great impetus for growth, but it is not ordained by God. And what you will hear traditionally during this time of year is that you must suffer, you must sacrifice, and there must be blood. But we're doing it to ourselves all the time. Anyway. Are we not? So part of our shift in how we're embracing this season this year is to allow vision to pull. Our specific vision of spiritual awakening, our specific vision of living now in peace, in love, and joy. Take a breath with me here. I have to decide where to go right now. Do I want to pick this up or do I not? Do I want to pick this up or do I not? Do I want to pick it up or do I not? I see a head shaking. Do not pick it up. God, we had such good stuff planned. But I want us to consider, A Course in Miracles says that planning is a defense. Sure, it has its place if you're going to go on a trip. Right? You got to plan and get your plane ticket maybe or your lodging. But beyond that, you let it go. You flit and you float because you're trusting God, God consciousness. We've made a commitment to awakening, and it's happening. Say with me, I am the creator of my experience.
I am the creator
I choose thoughts of love. I focus on peace. And everything unlike it, I just embrace with love. As an aspect of myself. Oh boy, there's a part of me that says, hell no. Some of what I see ain't no aspect of me. But it is of our collective consciousness. And so I choose to take responsibility for it all. Whatever it is, I'm judging, I'm forgiving. And that's what we will be doing this month. Has anybody been following the monks? I know that you have. And I know that the desire is to put them on a pedestal, not unlike Jesus, not unlike the Dalai Lama, not unlike the Buddha. But every one of us can choose peace, can choose love, can choose to walk through our lives, no matter what's going on in the world, in the way that was demonstrated. And did you see all the people who followed them, who embraced them? The world wants that more than it wants the news. We focus there. May we have that first clip, Mary? Is that possible?
Over a 4-month and 2,300 miles long walk to Washington, D.C., there were blessings, prayers, expressions of love, and jokes.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out this morning in this cold weather. Are you not working at all? Today's Monday, right? Is it? And why are you here?
Venerable Bhikkhu Paniakara is the leader of the Walk for Peace pilgrimage, a journey of more than a dozen monks that began in October in Fort Worth, Texas. Never taking a day off, the monks walked on foot, some at times without shoes, through wind, rain, and bitter cold, all to spread a message of mindfulness, kindness, and peace.
This world been receiving so much anger and hatred and everything already. That is why it's coming back to us with all kind of sufferings, all kind of disasters. So we walk not to bring any attention to us, but we just hope that we raise the awareness of peace to all the people who we meet along the road.
As their message.
So we're going to move into our meditation now with the idea that as we walk through life, as we walk from here to the car, as we walk into the grocery store, as we're in line, as we're driving our car, not quite walking, but similar, we're moving through life. And that when we choose to be honorable, to be monk-like, to be Jesus-like, to be Christ-like, which is inherent within each and every one of us. Remember, not the exception, the example. And we say, yes, I'm going to walk this way. We see the world anew. And so I'm going to invite this song now to bring us into the meditation.
Every step is holy. Every breath is light. Every moment precious. When held up to the light. Every heart connected. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious. When held up to the light. Every heart connected. Face of God, grace that showed me every step is holy. Every breath 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 is holy.
And so may we affirm in this moment that we are spirit. I am free. My life is the perfect ashram for my awakening. I don't live any ordinary moments. With each breath, my experiences are the stepping stones laid before me of God to guide me home. Therefore, I will bring awareness to each moment and allow it to teach me how to forgive, how to love, and therefore how to live fully. And may we exclaim during our walk this week, my God, this is my life. This is my pathway home, and I am going to live it. Breathe here. Allow the eyes to open. And affirm this with me. My God, this is my life. This is my pathway home. And I am going to live it. And so it is. Amen. We did it. We're alive, awake, and aware. and magnificent things are happening.